What's up, 819S? Trying this live stream thing again. Yesterday it didn't quite work because I had the camera upside down and I didn't know that GoPros couldn't do that. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably clean the lens off just to make sure that everything's good. Alright, so I'm gonna take off and let's see how this goes. Round 2. It rained today, so there are fewer people than usual who rode motorcycles and scooters to work, and it is kind of late too. It was a rainy morning. So today I'm on my squeaky brake scooter. It'll stop squeaking in a second. It always does it when it rains. This is my Honda Giorno. It's hot pink. You might not be able to tell that. Wait till I get into some better light. Police can be kind of strict if they see you at night. I tend to follow the rules anyways, but I tend to follow the rules a little bit more carefully at night because the cops will pull you over. I have a buddy you can ask about that. He'll tell you. That was roadkill, I think. It's just kind of hard to see where it's been. So I tried cleaning up my gear and making sure that everything is in tip-top shape, and that obviously that the camera's in the right direction this time. And yeah, I sprayed some electronics cleaner into the port, and now my screen has a little bit of a weird haze on it. Hopefully I didn't screw my camera up. Seems to be functioning properly. I shot a demo video or a practice video and it seems to have recorded fine. I'm not 100% sure which mic is being used. Oh, there we go, we got some cops. They're not waiting there for me. Don't think they would be. Well, like I said, as long as you're following the rules. One of the rules that needs to be followed, again, this should be followed in any situation, not only at night, is respecting the crosswalks. So pedestrians always have the right of way in a crosswalk. Obviously here we have the traffic signal, so this one is kind of mandatory as long as you follow traffic lights, which is most people. But the next 2 coming up do not have traffic lights, and I think the cops definitely wait around for people to break this rule. I've seen people pulled over here before. They kind of come out of nowhere from these side streets, so you always have to be kind of on guard, ready. And yeah, bicycles, they just kind of fly out in the middle of the road. I haven't had a chance to go touring or riding that much these days. I guess since COVID, no real opportunity. I think I've done a trip or two to Lake Yamanaka, My wife and I did take our 50cc bikes out to Chiba. I planned on making a video about that, but you know, life gets in the way. I'm hoping to do more touring this year, but you know, you'd never know. That sign there is warning of accidents that commonly occur here with people turning. I think that it ends up trapping motorcycles and scooters and bicycles. So if you're not careful, you get a makikomi jiko. I live in Tokyo, but I don't live downtown in the center of the city. So where I ride is a little bit dark. I think I'm going to try doing these commute videos in the afternoon, or I should say in the morning on my way to work. I think that would be brighter, more beautiful. And you know, people are actually interested in this kind of live stream. I might actually take some trips downtown into the center of the city or something. Yeah. That's the kind of crosswalk you gotta really be on the lookout for. So, you may or may not know, Japan making 50cc bikes. It's a kind of a sad thing to see the end of a generation, the end of an era. A 50cc bike really clean enough to pass the latest emission standards, is my understanding of it. So there are millions of people who have driver's licenses, and as a result they are allowed to ride a 50cc bike without any extra additional licensing. There are also millions of people who have just a 50cc license like my wife does. Those people will not be SOL. There is a way for them to enjoy riding, and that is 125cc bikes will have a low powered. There'll be my understanding of it is there'll be two versions of a similar bike, or they'll make a special low powered version just for people who have a Gensuki Ishu license. Basically, if you have a 50cc license now, you'll still be able to keep riding, but it won't be a 50cc bike. It'll be a lower power 110 or 125 bike. I think it's an interesting compromise. Those bikes, they say, are a little bit cleaner, but I feel like if you're giving people the extra engine size, why not just give them a little bit of extra power too? Because people still have a limit of 30 kilometers per hour, and they still have to do a two-step turn or a hook turn. I don't know, it just seems like it's time to update the laws. I hear bass. There goes patrol car. It'll be interesting to see how the videos turn out with no editing and nothing else. I might have to mess around with different microphones and stuff, but I'm kind of excited. Yesterday's video was a big disappointment because the video was upside down. Now YouTube doesn't have any way in the YouTube studio to flip the video back over, which it looks like they used to in the past. Another interesting thing I see a lot at night, more so than in the daytime, is cars with timeshare cars. They have a little yellow sticker on it that says Times Car Share or Mitsui Timeshare. I feel like they're more prevalent at night, and I'm not 100% sure why. So this is Vivi. Vivi is the pink bike that died on me last year, unfortunately. Vivi and I were riding into work, and were near the police station. The light turned red, so I hit the brakes to slow down, and then the engine just clonked out. And I thought, well, that's weird. The engine's never died on me like that before. So I pulled off the road and I hit the starter, and battery's cranking over fine. Don't know exactly why, but the bike wouldn't start. Didn't want to burn up the starter, and I didn't want to wear out the battery. So I decided to kickstart it a bunch of times. Nothing wasn't really working. So I was at a loss. I had to get to work, and I didn't really have time to futz around with it. Unfortunately, on these bikes, everything's kind of wrapped up behind a fairing or something, so there's not much you can do visually. You have to open the seat, pull out 2 bolts, pull out the inner container to get access to anything. So it's not really serviceable on the side of the road like other motorcycles could be. So I pushed it all the way to work. I think it was like 2 kilometers from where I clonked out to my parking spot. Parked, did my day of work, everything was fine. When I went back to the parking lot, I was kind of keeping my fingers crossed that it would run, but it didn't. Tried the battery was still fully charged. Tried to kickstart it, wasn't really doing anything. And I wasn't sure what to do next. Basically, I just needed to get home, so I pushed the bike back home. It's a bit over 10 kilometers from my house, so yeah, it's not a heavy bike, but it wasn't really a fun push at the same time. I'm gonna let the bike behind me pass. Oh, I guess he doesn't want to. Yep, here he goes. Yeah, so pushed the bike back home, took out the spark plug, had spark, could smell gas coming out, and the air filter was in good condition. So I was like, I don't get it. I have spark, gas, and fuel. It should be running. Talked about it with a friend of mine. I thought it was the ECU. I thought maybe the computer had been going out for whatever reason. A friend of mine did a little bit of research for me. I didn't ask him to, so dude, thank you so much. You really, really saved me. I'm not sure if I would have found this problem on my own, but he looked up the model of Giorno that I ride, and it turns out there's a problem with these bikes from time to time that in Japanese they call carbon gummy. Carbon is carbon. Carbon is just, C, like CO2. And then gami in Japanese means like bite, I believe. So it means bit by carbon. I've talked to a few other car people, and they never really heard that phrase before. But anyways, I used to drive this bike and a few other bikes in particular. Basically, it's carbon buildup. Carbon buildup reaches a point where valve stick or valve seat the valve seat gets kind of blocked up with carbon, so it doesn't allow the I don't know why that car is smoking. It doesn't allow the valve to seal completely, so you don't get any compression. And I confirmed that by pushing the Kickstarter lever with my hand, and there was just no compression. It would push through full strokes without anything. So I didn't know what to do to fix that without tearing the whole engine apart, or at least tearing the top end off. Didn't really have time to be messing around like that. So looked around for a solution, and I found something from Kude, his famous famous chemical company. Found something from Kude called engine conditioner, and this stuff is interesting. I use the engine conditioner to clean out the engine. Now, my understanding of the instructions is that you should get the engine running and then take out the air filter and spray it in through the exhaust or through the intake. And basically, the solvent in it will break up the carbon and will kind of burn it through the engine. I couldn't do that because I couldn't get the engine started. And so what I did is remove the spark plug. After removing the spark plug, sprayed the engine conditioner into the spark plug hole, and man, the blackness of the sludge that came out was mind-blowing. I actually couldn't believe it. So much carbon came out. Then I kicked it over my hand a few times to work the stuff through. I sprayed a little bit more, kept going until more or less, it didn't come out clean, but the sludge and stuff that was coming out wasn't so grimy anymore. Kicked it through a few more times to clear the cylinder out, then put the spark plug back in, and I wasn't quite sure what to do because I know it's still not going to start. I didn't have full compression yet, but I watched another YouTube video, a Japanese YouTube video of a guy showing how he gets these bikes up and running again when they don't start like that. And it's basically, as you have the starter motor running, you start to twist the throttle very gradually until the engine sound starts to change. Now it doesn't start the engine, but you can hear a change in the sound that shows that the engine's kind of doing something different. And I was able to get to that point. Alright, this guy's waving me on. I was able to get it to that point, and then you could feel it kind of wanting to start. It's like chugging, but it's not full compression at this point. So I don't want to kill the battery. Again, I don't want to burn the starter up. Let the bike cool down for a few minutes, then I tried kicking it by foot. Again, getting the throttle to just that right position where it's doing something even though it's not fully started. After I feel like the starter cooled down a bit, I gave it the electric start again, and then I heard pop 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 pop, and then it stopped. And I was like, oh, I got compression, this is amazing. Alright, so now I decided to wait and let it cool down again. Got the starter back on, gave it the throttle, pop 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 pop. Alright, it's going a little bit better. Let it cool down a minute. Go again. Pop, 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 pop. It's almost there. Alright, one last try. Give it another shot. And finally the engine starts. It starts. It's idling really rough, and then it dies again. Alright, I know that the bike will get running again. I think I'm in the clear. I'll be able to get this thing up and running. One of the other warnings on the label was that, I guess because you're spraying it into the intake, it said you could end up with a condition where the engine starts kind of over revving and revving out of control. So you have to be careful of that when you're spraying it into the intake. So I wasn't worried about that because I'm not spraying anything into the intake at this point, but I did crack the throttle open, and then I kept the throttle open more than I would usually. Oh, dude just walking across the street in the middle of the night. Man, accidents. Don't get it. I cracked the throttle open a little more than usual, and I got it up and running. It's not idling well. With the throttle open, it's staying steady, and this thick white smoke is coming out of the exhaust. It was kind of gross. It smelled really bad. I was like, I'm not sure if this is good for the bike or not, but you know, we're in for a penny, in for a pound. So I kept the engine running at a higher rev until the white smoke started to kind of thin out, and at this point it seemed like everything was all right. I released the throttle and the engine would idle. Again, we got some construction. This guy's waving me on. Yeah, got the engine to the point where it was idling just fine, and give it the throttle and it would just excel, it would just go. And I needed to fill it up with some fresh gas. It didn't have bad gas in it, but I just wanted to make sure that it was running on some clean stuff. So took it off to the gas station, and it was running better than it ever had ever. I mean, even better than the day we bought it. We bought it used with 7,000 kilometers on it. Still really, really low mileage. And at this point it had, I think, 17,000, so we had put 10,000 on it ourselves. And man, it was running really, really well. Like, you could give it the throttle sitting back on the seat, and it would lift the front wheel up just a skosh. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. Filled it up with fresh gas. I've been using a lot of carbon deposit cleaner in the gas every fill up, but it has stalled on me, I think, 3 times since that day. This guy's got an American flag. Yeah. Got it to, it actually stalled on me a few times, the same way that it did on the way to work that day. And I know now what the problem is, so I'm able to get it back up and running again without too much hassle. And then I've used the engine cleaner or engine conditioner spray one more time. It didn't come out as black as it did the first time. So I think what I've got to do is take the top end off and clean the valves up and kind of make sure everything's okay. I did a valve, sorry, I didn't do the valve clearance. I did an oil change, and after the oil change, I put in another kind of oil called Zoil, Super Zoil. Which stuff was super, super expensive. It actually made the engine run a lot smoother and seemed to improve. I haven't had it stall since that day, but the last few weeks, I'd say the engine performance is noticeably worse. You whack on the throttle and it doesn't really go. So I might have to address this thing pretty soon. This pink bike Vivi is my basically rainy day bike. When the weather's really bad, I take Vivi out. I have Jerry at home, and then I have which is my Tact, and then I have Sophie at home, which is another Giorno but a newer model. So yeah, and then I still have Lucy, of course, my CRF 250. Which I do ride, but I don't ride it as much as I want to. So I think I'm going to stop right here. That's going to be it for this one. If you guys watched, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully stick around or look around. Keep a lookout for some more live streams. Peace.